The first day of the Melbourne Grand Prix is over, and we aren't any closer to knowing who has the performance advantage going into the first race of the season, which is exactly what we want. It was an action-packed 2 sessions, with plenty of trips to the gravel, a massive crash for Oliver Bearman, and some really surprising times gave us plenty to pick over. Perhaps the biggest surprise of the session was the performance of the Red Bull team, which was well off what was expected. There was one particular feature of Red Bull's testing which has to worry their fans. Today, I'll check out what happened on the first day of testing, talk about the huge worries for Red Bull, and look at the struggles of another multi-time world champion. So, don't go anywhere. There is so much you could pick out from the first testing session of the season to talk about. After FP1, it looked like Carlos Sainz's move to Williams might have been a better decision than Lewis Hamilton's choice to go to Ferrari. The Spaniard posted the second fastest time of the first session, with his teammate coming 6th. In FP2 though, Williams went back to normal service with an 11th and 12th place finish. Yuki Tsunoda looks like he might be pulling a 2019 Pierre Gasly on Liam Lawson. After the Frenchman was dropped by Red Bull mid-season for Alex Albon, Pierre went on to beat Alex over the rest of the season while driving for the Red Bull B team. Tsunoda beat Lawson in both sessions and in FP2 finished 4th fastest, with a time nearly a full second faster than Lawson's best. The Red Bull social media team even liked a comment calling for Checo to come back to Red Bull after Lawson's poor results, though they have realised their mistake and now unliked it. Lewis Hamilton looked like he made the right decision to move from Mercedes to Ferrari as the Silver Arrows looked off the pace that Ferrari and McLaren set, but he wouldn't have been happy with how he performed, and he had a lot of complaints for his engineers after an underwhelming first day. Overall, it was a bad day for Verstappen and Hamilton, as the old enemies both struggled in what could be the defining season of their careers. If Red Bull failed to perform, Verstappen could make the decision to fly the nest for next season and find a competitive car elsewhere. If Hamilton fails to perform, it could be the start of a sputtering end to an incredible career. But let's start with Verstappen. The official FIA document, which details the upgrades to every car at every race, shows that Red Bull arrived with 17 parts changed on their car, the most by a long way of any team. While upgrades are normally a positive, for all of these to be fitted at the first race of the season is a surprise. Did they fall behind their timelines during the winter break and tested an already outdated car in Bahrain last month? Because this is basically a brand new car. Just look at the list of changes. The entire front end has changed with a new wing, nose, and suspension. There is a completely new floor, the side pods and engine cover are new, and the entire rear end has been changed. That's ridiculous. That list reads of a team that is playing catch-up big time, and the big worry is that all those changes haven't helped. The drivers still aren't enjoying driving the car. Verstappen, who headed into the season opening weekend declaring that the squad were not the quickest at the moment, ended Friday's running at the Albert Park Grand Prix circuit in 7th position, more than 6/10 off the pace set by Ferrari rival Charles Leclerc. Asked to reflect on his time at the wheel of the RB21, which included a lot of flirting with the gravel, Verstappen said, "To be honest, the balance wasn't even completely out, no massive or major problems. But somehow, the grip was not coming alive. I was just struggling on all 4 tyres, really, in Sector 1 and the last sector. That means, of course, that we're not really up there at the moment." Pushed on whether he has a clear direction to work overnight, Verstappen added, "The problem is that it's not really like I have major balance problems. I think it'll be a bit hard to fix. It's also nothing that I didn't expect when I arrived here. I'm not positively or negatively surprised with the pace we're showing. We just have to make sure that we find a bit more pace, but at the moment we're definitely lacking a bit to fight up the front." When you add that upgrade list to these comments, it really does look like Red Bull are scrambling to find some performance. If Verstappen is happy with how the car is driving, and they're still slow, then the team needs to find some raw performance through new parts. But with the new regulations on the horizon, how much will Red Bull really be willing to invest? Lawson, who finished 16th and 17th respectively in Friday's free practices, echoed Verstappen's thoughts. "Comfortable in the car, just too slow. We obviously have a lot of work to do overnight. Day 1, on a new track, we were expecting to have some work to do, but probably not this much." Verstappen's best trait as a driver is his ability to deal with oversteer. An oversteering car will always be better than an understeering car, and that allows Red Bull to build these really aggressive oversteering cars, which are impossible to drive for mere mortals. They went too far with that last season, building a car with so much oversteer that Checo literally couldn't drive it, and even Max started to struggle to control it. In trying to resolve that, it looks like they might have gone the other way, with the car looking like it had a serious lack of grip as it understeered its way around the Melbourne circuit. As I said earlier though, Verstappen isn't the only world champion struggling on the first day back. But before I talk about Lewis Hamilton's difficulties at Ferrari, if you're enjoying the video and want to catch all the news and analysis from the upcoming season, then make sure to press the like button and subscribe to F1 Reverse. Thanks a lot. So, Hamilton ended the day 5th fastest for Ferrari, a result that doesn't sound too bad. But as you dig down, that finishing position doesn't quite tell the whole story. In FP1 he finished 12th overall, with a time that was over 8 tenths off leader Lando Norris and over 6 tenths off his second place teammate. In FP2, Hamilton was 0.42 seconds slower than his teammate Charles Leclerc, who set the pace ahead of the McLarens of Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris at Albert Park. Hamilton was also about 0.1 seconds down on average on the race simulation runs late in the second hour's running. Hamilton was pretty clear about what it was that was causing him problems as well, taking to the team radio a number of times to complain about the car. His issue was the same as Verstappen's. The car was understeering on corner entry. Like Verstappen, Hamilton doesn't mind a bit of oversteer, but cannot stand understeer. Having the car just not turn in when you turn the wheel is horrible when you're trying to push a car into a corner at well over 100 miles an hour between the tight walls of Albert Park. Martin Brundle went as far as saying he was alarmed by what he saw from Hamilton. What alarmed me a little bit was that Lewis came out the back of the garage wearing his crash helmet, Brundle said, which I never think is a good sign, having done that myself as well. I think he'll be a little bit frustrated with that first session. He looked pretty good early on, but it depends if he had some issues. We'll find out later. Everyone knows that if a driver is walking around with their helmet still on, it's because they're frustrated or angry about what has been happening and don't want to be bothered. It's universal race driver body language, and if Hamilton fans are expecting their driver to turn up at Ferrari and start dominating again, then that display might show that they're going to be disappointed when the race finishes on Sunday. It is very early to make any judgment on how Hamilton will do at Ferrari, but the issues he faced on the first day in Melbourne are very similar to his problems at Mercedes. When the characteristics of the car are not to his liking, he struggles to adapt and find confidence and the performance that comes with that. Hamilton will be hoping that some overnight analysis of telemetry and talks with the engineers can lead to setup changes that help remove some of that understeer and get the car responding in the way he wants. What are your biggest takeaways from the first day of testing? Who was the most surprising for you? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and if you haven't already, then make sure to check out our latest documentary on the crashes that changed F1 forever. Until next time, drive safe and bye for now.